It's electric day. We're doing it. It's going in. We are out here today getting our electrical ready. We're digging trenches. We're going to do a little bit of work on the driveway as well. I hope we have everything we need. We had to go all over New Hampshire yesterday to get it all. You peeking? She's trying to look over my shoulder. So hopefully we have everything, because I'm not driving around today. Whoop! Yes?
Can you measure out 10 feet?
Yes! I will go get the,
You can do it by foot, it doesn't need to be perfect.
Oh, you just want me to walk it?
10 feet from the pole up that way.
I can do that. My feet are almost a foot long, so makes walking it pretty easy. 1, 2. We are bringing this trench all the way to here. This is where our hookup is going to be. That's where our part of the electrical job comes in. What's up, baby? No, you can't have that stick. So just a little bit more digging, and then it'll be time to start gluing conduit together. Trench is looking pretty good. Only problem is right here. Right here, we could not use the heavy equipment because it put the pole at risk. So, got my shovel. Baby's asleep on my back. Let's do this. We need three of these pieces of conduit. So, I'm going to move them now. We are getting our conduit ready for our cable lines. It is much smaller conduit than we need for the electrical. But Ben is just gonna get some pieces here together and glue them together to make this a bit bigger.
Yeah, we're using a single stage cement, so you don't need to use a primer. With these couplings, you kind of want to hold them together for 10-15 seconds just so they don't pop out. It is messy. You will get adhesive, or you don't want it. These are holding together pretty good.
Yeah, that one, one of the ones at the other end was a bit unruly, had to be held for quite a while. Yeah, so we've got this piece here, which mirrors this one over here. And you can see that end down there we've got to connect another piece to, and this end down here is the one that will attach to the block at the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna just so that we don't get any dirt in this pipe, we've got some PVC caps.
Oh!
So these are gonna go over the end, and we'll just grab some electrical tape and just hold them in place.
And pop them on for just a little bit until we get the cable company out here to run our cable. Because
I think it's actually Ethernet.
I think it is Ethernet out here, isn't it?
I don't think there's a coax involved at all.
Yeah.
We're not getting cable because we don't do cable.
No, we do not do cable. So we're at the probably about 5.5 foot mark down here. This side is where our platform, or not platform, what is it called? Pedestal. This is where our pedestal is going to be sitting, where we'll have our temporary hookups so that we can plug in the camper, plug in any tools that we need, which is going to be very handy because the tiny home is right there. It's not there very far at all. So this side, ooh, that's really tall. So we're gonna cap that we're obviously going to need to cut it because it's really, really tall. Oop, I got to get out of the way. The water has filled up in here a little bit, so that's been fun. Hopefully I don't fall in the mud. So we've got both of our conduit in. Now we got to start filling in the hole. In a lot of places, you would need to have your trench and conduit inspected before you filled the hole. We do not with our state and company and permits. So, because this part is all on us as the homeowners. It is not that way in every state or country. So if you are putting in electrical on your property, definitely check with your local companies and see what is good, and make sure that you're following your local laws and regulations. We're going to do a nice little path on top of all this conduit so that we know exactly where it is. It stays clear and we don't dig here anymore. Okay, so Ben put the post in, but I helped to dig out. We're about to put a second post in. Then we have to make the face of the pedestal. That is where the meter and I believe the breaker as well go on there.
We're going to be attaching some pieces of 2x4 to basically make a panel mount over here. So we're probably going to shorten that pipe just a little bit, but you have 6 inches of exposed timber, 6 feet of exposed timber above ground. And the reason you have that is so that, you know, it always stays in view so you don't accidentally drive into it or hit it with equipment when you're doing things.
Because we get snow here, and sometimes it's higher than 3-4 feet.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
So it being at least 6 feet is smart.
Exactly. Does sound like maybe not.
Might need to get the other one. I don't know if we have any batteries for it either, but you know.
We should have enough batteries in some capacity.
That's far enough apart?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. They need to be at least 12 inches.
Okay.
Beyond that, it's kind of up to us.
Okay.
The only thing that really matters is that you have enough space to mount all your parts.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like one of those things where it's like, okay, are those on good? Yes. And we just continue down.
And now that we have these in, we'll start filling out around it as well once these are in there and stable. Wow, it just got real dark. Are we?
It's sketchy. And we're not supposed to have anything, but I feel like we got a little bit of it's not going to be Kansas anymore soon.
Yeah, as the wind starts picking up.
That's the right music, right?
Yes.
Okay. Copyrighted.
And I said in an earlier video, was I correct? Is the breaker going to be on here too?
Yeah, so it's a combo box.
Okay.
Meaning it has a service ring, and the service ring is where they put the meter.
Yep.
And then there's a breaker right next to it. So that's kind of like your main breaker. So you still need to put a circuit breaker panel board in for any electric you're going to draw off of it. Because this is just the primary, the secondary is a different thing altogether. So that's so that this can be your main point of distribution. You can see a lot of the old rural properties around here have pedestals, and they have fully built houses up around them.
There's a pedestal up the road from us here that is in a it's in a maple bush. It's in a grove of maples. Does that one have no? Why wasn't that one working, Ben? It wouldn't go in.
It's got to work somehow. We can turn it into a nail.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I want a refund.
Yeah.
I need to speak to the manager.
Like, why isn't it working?
I mean, you wouldn't think, right, with a screw?
Yeah.
That's not what I would have checked. I would have been like, is the tip sharp?
Yeah, no. Not the tip isn't even sharp.
No.
Nope, you get nothing. You like
that's
it.
what I was going to check when I noticed it had no thread. There we go.
Anyway, there's a, what I was saying before is there's a property right up the road that is a maple bush, which isn't a bush. It's a term anywhere where people do syruping. You might hear them talk about maple bushes, and it's a grove of maple trees that are all tapped. So when you drive by, all it is a bunch of trees with blue, what looks like water line, like PEX pipe, all around them, and and one of these just sitting in the middle of the property. There's nothing else. Someone bought it just to maple, and they don't even have a sugar house on property. I don't know if they maybe they drive one up and park it and then hook it in.
No idea. They might actually have a sugar house elsewhere. And they fill a trailer on the back of a truck.
Yeah.
And bring it off to be boiled.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's funny. What are you doing back there? Uh-huh. All right, we're gonna start feeding this in one side, and it'll eventually come out the other.
So says the logic.
Hey, C, scoot your boot. I'm coming up that way. We just cut this side, so now it's not nearly as tall. I'm gonna look down it while... Hush, hold on. We'll see. Oh, I can hear it. Oh, there it is. Keep it coming. No. Woo! Got it, babe. We still have to do our copper grounding rods, and we have to obviously build the pedestal that those are going to tie into. But we just did the hard part, so I am pretty psyched. All right, so we got our meter here. It's going to go up there on that panel. This is, it's kind of a one size fits a lot. So you can see there's lots of knockouts down here. This is where the breakers are going to be. This is the main service. Ooh, look, service disconnect. Nice. We are trying to figure this out right now. We're not exactly sure where everything goes, but we are going to do our best. We don't need to do most of it. So this section of conduit ended up being ever so slightly too off to one side.
And not straight up and down.
And not straight up and down. So it had a slight bend in it. You can kind of see it there. We had to place these rocks here to try to get where we want it. To get it to be a little bit more what we're looking for, Ben is using a heat gun to heat up the plastic, make it a little bit more malleable so that it stays in the orientation we want it to be, as opposed to the orientation it was.
You have a tick on your leg.
I have a tick on my leg. Oh, son of a bitch. Pushing the wire from way over there up and through it, got stuck a bunch of times, but we were able to get it up here. Ben removed the insulation casing.
Insulation.
Yeah, insulation from around them, so to expose. And now we're putting them into these little hubs. Would that be proper?
I think hub is correct.
Yeah, that's what I
Terminals.
thought. Terminals? Terminal sounds better.
Technically, I think they're terminals.
Yeah. And we're getting these set here. And so we're doing our end of things. This is to code in Vermont. As we are owners of the land, it is our responsibility to do this part. A lot of people would hire an electrician, and
this one back and put it.
You can certainly do that.
Or because twisting it.
I would not twist it that much. I would cut it.
Cable cutters would be nice.
They would be. We got cable cutters, and they're for small ones and not big enough for these. But
I don't think they sell them to the general public.
I don't think so either. But anyway, if you have the time and the money and the energy to hire an electrician, I highly suggest you do so. We do not have the money for that, nor do we have the time to wait the possible months it would take for right now, because all of the electricians are crazy overbooked.
Do not step on those panels.
I did not mean to bump it. Sorry.
Break them, we're in trouble.
That's true.
So we kind of found this weird thing, which apparently you can use a miter saw because the aluminum is so soft. So if you find yourself without the right tools, you know, make do. This isn't going to damage the parts we're working with.
No more so than you clipping it with anything else.
Run it through the rest of the way. There you go.
Easy peasy.
Squeeze those lemons.
You know, please, 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 please do your research. Follow along. It's school time again.
Welcome to the life of a homeschool parent.
Oh, you found a leaf? Em has a leaf suddenly out of nowhere. Just hit me in the face with it. Good, good. That's the biggest Allen key I've ever seen in my life.
Bought specifically for the job. I was at the electrical supply place and I was like, you know what I don't want to be looking for today? Just imagine how they thought to buy a pair of clippers.
Yeah, these are the clippers we bought.
They'll be good for the
rest of
connections. We have a couple breakers. We're going to be putting in a 15 amp circuit for a plug so we can use tools. We're going to be putting a 30 amp RV plug as well.
For the RV.
Circuit included, of course. This is my first time doing a circuit breaker by myself with no assistance. I have done it with family in the past when we've been doing construction projects. So not totally my first time, but you know, a little something in there. So this part, I didn't realize it slides down all the way.
Oh!
So that's really good. And then this gets locked because the power company doesn't want us accessing those wires. So they're going to put a lock on there.
Yep.
That'll prevent us from being able to open that
again. Cool.
Without permission. They need to be able to cut the line before we can do anything else in here. So that's it. That's the top. So these bars on the back, these heavy bars on the back, are going to be, you know, what holds that load where it is. This aluminum panel carries the ground load around the box here.
Ground wire.
And then these two main leads, those are going to be what distributes through the electrical box down through these two poles. They're not poles, but they carry poles, into this area where we can install our circuit breakers. All right, so this piece, you can see under here, it's gonna be hard to slide this up with these electrical wires in place. You can see a little bit. I put this lock nut and then an insulated bushing over the top. So that's gonna hold this in place. And then any knockouts will be knocking out of the bottom or side of this panel in order to access for further electricity. So, good to go.
Okay. So this is the other end. This is the end that we don't mess with. So we were responsible from here down all the way over to there. And they are responsible for here up. As you can see, the pole goes all the way up. So all of this conduit we had to buy for them to use. They will attach there and do the whole shenanigans from there up. This one is we are going to be using for our internet cable when that gets installed. We buried it now instead of having to worry about it later because, well, that would really suck. Ben is putting on the panel covers again. There you can see that's where the
piece of cardboard goes in.
Yep, the piece of cardboard goes in there. Very nice. That's where the meter face will be.
Right there. And this is ringless, so they're going to need to open this up again, put the meter behind it, and then close it.
Yep.
As opposed to a ring setup, in which case they would install it, put a ring around it, and snap the ring in place. So it's a little more weather tight.
Hey Ben, how big was that?
8 feet.
And
8 feet of fun.
And I got the last what, 4 hits.
Yeah, and
there are 2 of them. There is that one under there, and that one is 6 feet away.
Yep.
And now I get to trench from one to the other.
You can see it, right?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, totally see it.
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Okay. So we have the ground wire installed. You can see where it's installed up to the service there.
Yep, so it comes up through, knock through here, and goes up there. And so that's going into the first of the copper ground that, hey you, hush, went about 6 inches down, I think you said?
Yeah,
Through the ground?
basically it needs to be underground.
Yep.
So it's 4 to 6 inches, but this area is going to be a no walking zone.
No walkie zone.